The
If Caitlin
WNBA
Clark
is being
is the
revitalized
quote-unquote
by
savior,
her,
if
but
she's
this
the
is when
golden
it
girl,
becomes
milk
complicated.
it.
Clark has
Reality is
progressed
knocking
so
on the
quickly
door
that it
of the
seems
porta
like the
potty.
entire
The truth
league
is finally
depending on
coming
her.
to the light.
This leads
The same
us to
light
the crucial question.
that is going
Will
to be
the
dimming here
WNBA
in
gain from
about
this?
12
As
hours
they say,
when
don't lay
Caitlin
all your
Clark is
eggs in one
eliminated from the
basket.
playoffs.
But the WNBA
I know the
had to
mainstream
learn that
media
lesson the
wants
hard
us
way
to believe
after
that
Clark
the
was
WNBA
eliminated from the playoffs. Now that the league is facing reality, everyone is wondering if they have blown their golden ticket. And trust me when I say that losing a star player is not the only aspect of this. 8 million to just 161,000.
Ratings for Game 1 have got to be disappointing for Kat Engelbert and the WNBA front office. There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers. However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way. There were 3 other games in the WNBA on Sunday night.
The nosedive is more than just a dip. And now everyone is wondering if the WNBA really faces the risk of going out of business without its newest star.
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years. Some people get famous on art.
Let's take a moment to discuss Clark. She did not simply appear. She altered the course of events.
From merchandising sales to new sponsorships to television ratings absolutely going through the roof to attendance to sellouts at basketball games to all-star games with record attendance both in person and on television. It is safe to say, North America, that the Caitlin Clark effect has taken over the WNBA at this point.
Without Clark, the WNBA would have to deal with empty seats and dismal TV figures. She was solely responsible for transforming the Indiana Fever from an unimportant team to a postseason contender. After being nobody, can you imagine being someone that quickly?
WNBA ratings are embarrassing without Caitlin Clark. 0 games have sold out in the playoffs. Outside of Caitlin Clark, there was not a single game that eclipsed 500,000 viewers. Hell, they weren't even close to doing that. Once she is eliminated,
the WNBA may be putting all of its eggs in one basket, but it's questionable. If that basket shattered and remained there, what would happen? Since we'll talk about how important this is for women's basketball. Take the Indiana Fever, who went from being just another team to a possible challenger for the playoffs. And it's all the fault of one man.
This woman is box office, plus she can play, and the combination of the two would alter.
Here's the catch, though. Caitlin Clark is altering the WNBA playbook as a whole in addition to switching teams.
Let's put this in its proper perspective. When I think about Caitlin Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude.
How numbers reveal a surprising story.
Well, I'm just looking at some of the numbers here. When we talk about league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
When we discuss Clark's first season, we're talking about metrics that basketball historians pay attention to, not just incredible numbers.
We see that. We see the capability on the basketball court. She can shoot, she can handle, she certainly can pass, okay? I look at it from that standpoint and I say mad respect. Are there other players in the WNBA that
became the first rookie in WNBA history to score at least 25 points, grab 5 rebounds, and dish out 5 assists in her first postseason appearance? Not only are records being broken, but new standards for excellence are also being established.
Because at the end of the day, with her WNBA rookie season complete, let's see it. Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history.
Clark averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block per game during the postseason series. Who else has scored as many goals in the playoffs? No player in WNBA history has ever matched this stat line. Now that we're in Michael Jordan territory, you might be wondering, wow, those are some impressive stats, but what does this mean for the league? But I'll give you a suggestion.
Career 10 or more assists in a game. How about that franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game? Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 three-pointers. She did it in 34 games. Most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game, for which she received the most fan votes ever. 700,000 of those. Fastest player to reach 350 points and 150 assists to start a season, regardless of years in the league.
You would have forgotten the Indiana Fever were in the league before to Clark, but now they have to watch TV.
The attention that she brought to a women's league and a women's side, if you will, of the sport is just, I think, hopefully going to have a residual effect for years to come.
Yeah, I think it can't be overstated enough, like what she did to bring eyes to that sport. Whether people want to admit it or not, it's just a fact.
Clark did more than just make the squad better. She transformed them into contestants in an instant.
Looking at some of the numbers here, when we talk about league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
However, it goes beyond what happens on the court. The influence of Clark extends far beyond hardwood floors.
It's trickled up to the WNBA this season as the league has seen unprecedented growth thanks to the emergence of a strong rookie class headlined by #1 overall pick Caitlin Clark. So WNBA released a report recently. Numbers are beyond impressive. Attendance is up 156% from last year, and more than half of all WNBA games this year have been sellouts. This year's televised games are averaging 1.32 million viewers, nearly triple last season's average of 462,000. Continuing, the WNBA's online merchandise store has already set a single-season sales record with more than 4 months left in the season, and sales are up 756%.
You guessed it. Record numbers of people are attending WNBA games. They are looking at whom? Caitlin Clark. Now that she is the face of women's basketball, she is more than just a player. When was the last time you saw a WNBA player generate this kind of enthusiasm? People who have never been to a women's game, as well as basketball fans, are drawn to Clark.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall growth of the league.
The WNBA is being revitalized by her. But this is when it becomes complicated. Clark has progressed so quickly that it seems like the entire league is depending on her. This leads us to the crucial question. Will the WNBA gain from this? As they say, don't lay all your eggs in one basket. But the WNBA had to learn that lesson the hard way after Clark was eliminated from the playoffs. Now that the league is facing reality, everyone is wondering if they have blown their golden ticket. And trust me when I say that losing a star player is not the only aspect of this.
So if we look at this chart for the 2024 season, the Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 games. So this is taking into consideration not only the Indiana Fever home games, but also when they are on the...
Let's take a moment to discuss numbers. Yes, crowded stadiums for Clark's games are no longer common. Instead, half of the seats are empty during playoff games.
It's Caitlin Clark. We all know that. They are now seeing that the Clark effect is living up to the hype.
From a draft party.
Yeah, baby,
Where nearly 6,000 people attended.
look at the crowd here. You can see where she ranks on anticipation. This is amazing to have. I was here for the draft party a few years ago, and it was nothing compared to what it is now. This is amazing.
To the team store, where gear is flying off the...
Envision entering an arena that should be bustling with playoff enthusiasm, only to find it feels more like a deserted village. Things become extremely ugly at this point, but that's the new NBA reality. The WNBA is losing money in addition to the number of spectators.
Is going to get a rude awakening because 2 million, that click, 2 million of their fans just turned the TV back to the NFL.
While the NBA earns over $7 billion from TV deals alone, the WNBA depends on the NBA for $200 million annually to survive. There are other disparities as well. The Grand Canyon is the size of the abyss. And I'm not talking about spare change here.
The most dominant team in the league They can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game. Atlanta Dreamers and the New York Liberals. Again, the Liberals. They supposedly have stars. Remember when ESPN claimed that the Liberals had the new Big Three? Dreamers, Liberals. 410,000 viewers. The other game was the Phoenix Masculines and the Minnesota Lynx.
You may be thinking, well, they must have a plan to fix this at this very moment. Here's where the madness begins, so keep your hat on. The NBA's marketing strategy, or lack thereof, confounds everyone. Even worse, they haven't produced a single commercial with Caitlin Clark in it.
They should be getting the attention. Now they have center stage, but the ratings are going to go down.
The league's entire star promotion approach is also under fire. One commentator claimed that without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA would be a polished turd. Oh no. This is not just unpleasant, but also a wake-up call. Riding high on Clark's fame, the league failed to establish a safety net. What does this mean for the future of women's basketball? We're talking about more than just a bad season. This might represent a major shift for the league as a whole.
2024, the WNBA is estimated to bring in $200 million in revenue. Just for comparison, the NBA is expected to earn $13 billion. The WNBA has historically lost around $10 million per season.
The WNBA is losing fans more quickly than a leaking faucet without Clark in the playoffs. And in a culture that values fame, that is a death sentence.
Kelsey Mitchell on here instead of Caitlin Clark? The face of your entire league, you left off this promotional graphic. Again, Kelsey Mitchell.
Nonetheless, the WNBA had a fantastic opportunity with Clark, and they could have leveraged her notoriety to market other athletes and produce gripping narratives that would have kept people interested even while she wasn't playing. Instead, they bet everything they had on one player, and now they are paying the price.
But the ratings are going to go down. How far, though? That's the key. And are they going to be pointing fingers and blaming Indiana Fever fans and Caitlin Clark fans whenever the ratings don't stay the same?
Now that the WNBA is having problems, you may be wondering what will happen. However, get ready because the answers may surprise you. However, we're talking about more than just a temporary solution. We're talking about a radical makeover that might alter the game forever. Let's talk about marketing first. It's time to spread the love. Despite Caitlin Clark's recent success in the WNBA, imagine a league in which each player has a distinct following and biography. We want to make every game appear important by establishing rivalries that spark conversation even when the big players aren't participating. See what occurs. Let's now discuss the players. Waiting for the next Caitlin Clark to enter the WNBA slaps is not an option.